Madam Mayor?
Thank you.
I just wanted Fred to address the issue of use of one-time revenue, because I don't think this is really the same as last year. I don't think the characterization is quite right. So let me have Fred address why.
Yeah, basically for the 11-12 budget, we're having some budget savings that we're realizing due to the great efforts of all of our departments, and I think they're really to be commended for really, being mean and lean, staying tight within their budget. So that's really a commendance. I mean, we have used some one-time revenues in the past. There's a little bit in this budget, but the budget savings is really different from one-time revenues. It's really due to diligent efforts of staff in keeping controls on cost.
Let me explain why this is so important. This is so important because if your staff squeezes every dollar as hard as it can to make savings, that's a good thing. If Ms. Goldman and Mr. Marsh come up with expense numbers at the beginning of the year that turn out to be too high because we squeezed the numbers, we could have just had lower numbers and then it wouldn't look like a one-time budget savings. So just a question that our very conservative approach to maybe overestimating expenses a little bit and underestimating revenues a bit is something we want to do and continue to encourage. But if we then recharacterize the reality when we close up the budget as one time because we spent less, that's not a one-time savings at all. It just shows we can do this job for this much less money. So that's one point. The other point I want to make is we really haven't discussed, Fred had mentioned it at the beginning, the question of sales tax leakage. When you look at the trends, if you're going to the trend tab in the back of the large budget document, you'll see that Alameda has nowhere near the sales tax revenue that similarly situated cities have. And so our people are spending their money in other places instead of spending it here. There are numerous categories of retail in the modern market that Alameda simply does not have available for Alameda residents. It is incumbent upon us to look not only at how we're handling the expenses, but what are the steps this government is prepared to take to try to encourage more growth of revenues. And looking at sales tax, you're looking at Alameda having a population about the same as Pleasanton, and yet our sales tax per capita is 1/4. If you look at Dublin, which is smaller than Alameda, they are nearly 5 times our number. San Leandro, which is a little bigger than we are, has 4.5 times the sales tax per capita revenue. So we're not talking about the capacity of a city where we're comparing ourselves at 70,000 to a city of 250,000. We're talking about cities of 50, 60, 70, 80,000 who are 4 times higher per capita than we are. That is a huge gap. Target is the impending Target deal will help somewhat with that. We're going to need about another 10 or 11 big sales tax generators like that. And we shouldn't kid ourselves about it, and we need to have a dialogue with this community about what the burdens are of having retail businesses of that size here, but we need them. We absolutely have to have them. Everybody else has them. It's foolish to continue to have our people spend money and help pay for the tax services of cities around us instead of spending it here at home in Alameda.